G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sophisticated Bogan. Adam here, and we're back on the ZX9R. So we've got a few bits and pieces now that we can get put onto this bike now that the engine is finally back in. So I want to try and get through as many different things as I possibly can. I've got a whole lot of parts laid out in front of us here, so I'll try and get onto all of that. So essentially what I want to get done is things like the rear sets, the brakes, the sprocket, front sprocket chain, the replacement wiring harness, switch blocks that have got to be wired up and plugged up, the muffler, which I'll show you that in a second, but that's got to have the rivets taken back out, and then I've got to turn things around because it's a bit wrong, and also other little bits that I've got to modify to make work. But yeah, I'm not too shabby at this stuff anyway, so it'll all be sweet. So let's show you what we've got. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and put a few pieces on, like the rectifier, regulator, the bracket for the rear pegs. I've also got the battery, it's just sitting in there at the moment, but we've got junction box in, ECU in, so there's other little bits to go in here as well. Yeah, we've got the new coils in. So yeah, everything's starting to move forward, people. Okay, so I'll show you what we've got on the blanket. Right, so that's the replacement harness. The other one that came with the bike was a bit all, like, it was very much molested. A lot of splicing and wiring and stuff that they've done to that original harness. Anyway, so we've also got the tail tidy. I want to get that all done up as well. Mainly just mounted. I've still got to do all the wiring and stuff. But I've got to do that when I do the new tail light and everything as well. We've also got the ignition. I want to get that put in so then I can get the bracket stay for the front, for the speedo to be put back on. Also got fuel pump. Just got some things to change over. Got a new fuel filter as well, and I'm also going to be getting new lines, but I just want to swap stuff over, you know, so it can be mounted. We've also got new exhaust studs to go in. That's the rear brake, or part of the rear brake, and the rear set. So that's sort of all ready to go. Just got to be mounted up, and that's for the, you know, that's for the brake and yeah, peg. Anyway, so I've got the original one here for the left hand side, for the gear change side. I just need to do a little bit of modification. So for this new one, that's the bit that came with it, but this is the original. So what I need to do is to ground that out so that I can get that stud out, and then a bolt can go through that, and it'll all be sweet. What else have we got? Okay, so we've got the switch blocks. Now, as I said, I need to do wiring for them as well. I've got to do up plugs and everything, but because they're not the original ones, the wires colours are different, so I just got to match all the wires up. I just got to take them apart and just match up where each wire goes. What else have we got? Okay, so we've got the front sprocket and chain ready to go back on, or new one to go on. And that's the muffler. So what I will be doing is taking out these rivets, and then I'll be turning it around so I can have the blue and silver where I want them. Okay, and if there's anything else that I can think of that I can fit into this video, because what I'm going to try and do is I've got a car meet tomorrow night, and then there's a bike and car show on Sunday. So that means 3 videos that I can get put out. So yeah, see what I can get done. Alright, let's get cracking. Okay, so what we're up to now is we're going to do the front sprocket and put the chain on, and then we'll move on to other bits after that. Alright, let's crack on. Alright, so we've got the front sprocket on and that's all ready to go, but have I've got to cut the chain down to size. I was hoping that it was actually going to be ready to go sort of out of the box, but some things just aren't. Also, I'm going to have to trim here and get like trim down like the, oh yeah, trim down there and along there to get this section out here, because the chain's just hitting it and it's putting it out of alignment. So yeah, I'll fix that up so I can get that cut out, cut the chain down, and we can get that on. Alright, so for the moment, since I'm already out here, we'll get on to doing the right hand side rear set. Alright, so we'll get this rear set on and sort of get that out of the way. Alright, so these rear sets you can put into different locations. So, you know, the people, whoever ends up buying this bike, you know, they might want to move it into a different spot that I'm comfortable with it in. Alright, let's get the rest of that on, shall we? Even I'll probably end up moving them. So I think I might just put in there for the moment. I've still got other stuff I've got to adjust anyway, so actually I might put it on the forward one, down the bottom. So as you can see, I've still got to set up the rear brake, and also sort of where I want it to sit and where I want the lever to sit as well, which will probably be about there. So that does have to be shortened down a little bit. But yeah, otherwise that's the rear set on. Obviously I've got to hook up the reservoir. That hooks up down to here. So yeah, I've just done sort of just a quick sort of setup. So it's probably going to need to be a little bit higher up on there so that I can have the peg, the lever just a little bit lower. But otherwise, that's nicely sitting in there. I think it looks pretty good. So, yeah. So it will be, once I got everything on, I can't wait for this thing. You guys are going to love this, I'm sure. This thing's going to look fun. It's going to look bloody unreal. Almost swore. Whoops. Okay, let's keep cracking. Okay, so I'm going to move on to getting the original exhaust studs out and put new ones in. There's a little trick that you can do with it's called pinch, like using nuts to do like a pinch lock, and you get it undone that way. Alright, so we'll crack onto that and get that out. We'll get the new ones in. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to, we've got to lock it in. And you can start to, as you can see now, it undoes. So what's the wrong way? Lock it a bit. That way then you can get them undone to get it off the stud. Alright, so that's all the studs out now. As you can see, you do the nuts with the pinch lock, and that's all the studs gone. Alright, so next we've got to put the new ones in, and also people make sure that when you're doing this you put in copper grease so you can get it's anti-seize. Alright, so let's get them on, and I'll put the nuts on there just so that I don't lose them. Alright, let's crack on. Now I'll set these to the height once the exhaust is ready to go on. It'll be done with this plus a spanner to pinch lock it all into place. Alright, Alright, so that's all the exhaust studs done. So yeah, I've also got new gaskets to go with the exhaust as well as all these new studs and everything. Alright, so let's keep cracking on and yeah, not too sure exactly what I'm doing next. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to move on with getting the tail tidy holes all done up, and then yeah, we'll get that fitted. I just got to put some bolts in and it's all fitted up. Alright, and then after that we've got to do the electrics. Well, not later on we've got to do the electrics. Okay, so that's the tail tidy on. It's just temporarily on there. Just wanted to get the fitments in, but just want to fix some stuff up with the paint from drilling. Yeah, I took a little bit of paint off, but I can easily put that back on. Like put the paint back on, and then I can put this back on. And I'm going to use different bolts because those ones come through quite a bit, and I want it to be as neat as possible. All right, I know what we'll do next. Get the ignition in, the ignition barrel in. And that's just 2 bolts and up in she goes. Yeah, alright, so we'll get on doing that, and yeah. Alrighty, that's the ignition barrel in. We start to look more and more like a bike. Alright, cool. Yeah, so the next part of the video, I'll have all these hoses all cleaned up, so they can be put on. They're still in very condition, but very sort of dirty and stuff. We'll also tomorrow, or the next bit of the video, we'll get on to getting the chain to the length that it has to be. Tonight I'll go over this. Over the harness, clean it all up, and then lay it all out. So then I can see what, so I can start feeding it all in, threading it through. Alright, at least it's all coming together now, people. We're getting there. It's a process, I know. So there's some parts that I haven't had, I didn't have on the blanket that I'm wanting to get sort of painted and fit back onto. Obviously, side stand. So this is the part that I had to modify. As you see, the stub is grounded out, and then I just put a drill through it the same size as the bolt that I need, and everything is all sweet. So just got to be painted so it looks new again. Yeah, so what else have we got on here? Other little miscellaneous bits and pieces. So we got the front sprocket cover. That's going to get painted black, same as the other pieces. I want to get that a nice coat of black, so when you take the back seat off it doesn't look crap. Yeah, so we'll get onto those bits, and yeah, we'll see if we get through. Alright, stupid me, forgot to hit the record button. I'm a bit of a spastic like this, but anyway, so that's the first coat. I like using the engine paint for this kind of stuff because the paint's a bit thicker. Gives it a bit more protection. But yeah, my original one, the foot was just completely rusted around where it meets up to the foot. All right, so let's get this little bit done. Let's get it painted silver. So I'll leave those just flashes slightly. I'm going to grab some clear coat to go over it. Clear coated that, and it's all clear coated or ready to go. So once that's cured, then I can take it out to the bike so it can be fitted. I've also got the front brake master to do as well. So I've got to tape that up, clean it up, and sand it and get it ready to be painted as well. Alright, at least we're starting to get somewhere. So yeah, let that cure. Probably get onto painting that next. Just needs a bit of paint over the top. It doesn't even have to be clear coated or anything. So let's just get onto that. It's just so it doesn't look tacky. It'll look really excessively worn when it doesn't need to be. So the next bit that I'll be doing paint work wise will be the sprocket cover. Alrighty, let's keep on moving. Alright, so we've got the side stand all finished, and it's now just got to set and cure. We've got the striker plate for the rear seat. That's just got to do the same. So next we're going to get onto the sprocket cover, and we'll get that all painted. Alright, so I thought I got everything off, but obviously I have not. I don't know how well you can see it. Let me just move it. So you can see there's some impurity still on it, so I'm going to have to sand that area. And there's another spot too. Where do I see that? Mainly just that top bit. So just along that edge there. Yeah, I'm going to have to let that dry and then sand it. Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. I should have been more diligent in getting it all off. At least things are coming along though. Anyway. Alright, so just getting onto these switch blocks, and also I want to go through the harness as well. So I need to need to rewire stuff. So what I've gone ahead and done here is so that I can find the corresponding wire for each one. I mean, I want every single one to be the same, obviously. Put tape on here, so it's quite simple. So we'd put like maybe a 1 on, put a 1 on here, and like the corresponding wire, put a 1 on the tag, and then I'll know exactly which ones are which. So then I can cut off the ends here, cut off these ends, so I can get the plug, and also for to cut the ends off these, splice them. Take some of the coating off the wires to expose the wire, and then connect them up. So yeah, we'll get them all done as well. What other things? So my brain stopped. But anyway, I need to clean that up. Also, it's got a little bit of corrosion in it. A bit of contact cleaner will get that done. Alright, so let's keep on cracking on with this, and yeah, you'll see at the end of it that we'll have a fully functioning switch block. So I've also got to do the same process for the other side switch block. So take them apart, correspond each wire up together, and yeah, and that'll all be all goods. Alright, let's crack on. Alright, so stupid me, put the tape up here. That's not where I'm going to be cutting. I'm going to be cutting down this end. So yeah, so I've got them all marked out, so which one's which. So yeah, now I can go ahead and get the ends off of these, get the length that I want it to be. So, something like trim it to about here maybe, and that way I've still got close to the original length. So obviously we'll be soldering then sealing them with shrink wrap it, and then I'll be putting insulation tape, but it's a material one which I think looks a lot cleaner, a lot nicer looking. Alright, let's crack on with that, shall we? Get this apart, and yeah, we'll move on. Alright, so it's a little bit tedious, but we now have the right hand switch block all ready to go. It can be fitted up now. We've got the bits and pieces, put it all together. Alright, so I'll get that chucked on, and then we'll move on to something else. Probably might get onto the other switch block and get that one out of the way. Okay, let's crack on. Alright, so I've got all my wires marked out now, so I can start sort of putting it back together. Still got to wait for a choke cable before I can actually put it all back together. But once I order one and arrives, then I'll be able to get on with getting the rest of the switch block finished. So yeah, once it's all wired up, then I can insulate it, get it all looking nice and clean, and then that can go onto the handlebar. Alrighty, okay, so that's the left switch block done. So we've got it all wired up and insulated and all ready to go. Just got to wait for the clutch cable to arrive, and then I can actually put this all together and then put it back onto the bike. So we're getting there. Okay, so I've just got with the chain, I've got all the chain done now, and I've also done trimmed out a piece of the chain guard so the chain clears it. So we've got all that on there now. Now I do have a different connector. I'm just using that one temporarily. My chain maker breaker that I had is broken. Not too sure how it got broken, but anyway. So these are the other connectors, the ones that you actually they get pressed in. So I just don't have the tool to be able to do it at the moment, so that'll be fine temporarily until I can get the tool, or get it to someone who has the tool for me. But yeah, so this is all good, it's all ready to go. I will be lubing up the chain, but just not yet. No point doing it right now. The bike lives inside most of the time. So yeah, everything's going good. It's nice and aligned. So it's not really catching or anything like that. See, it's nice and straight. Right, so I think for the next bit, for the actual bike itself, we'll get on to doing all the hoses, because I want to get those hoses put on. So that'll probably be the next day job, because you see it's starting to get a bit dark. Okay, so we'll move on to that, and I also got to finish off painting the front sprocket cover. So that'll be going on as well. So when I do the hoses, the front sprocket cover, we'll get onto the harness as well and feed that through, so I can start putting things into place. Alright, so it's pretty much ready to be painted now. So I'll just get onto that, and I discovered there's a little run in this. I can't remember where it was, but I've got to find it again so that I can fix it up. Oh, there it is, just there. That's OCD is going to drive me nuts if I don't fix that. Don't know if the camera really focused on that there, but anyway. Alright, so I'll quickly give that a quick sand, and then we'll get some paint onto the sprocket cover, and I'll just touch up on there. Alright. Okay, so these are done now, so I'm just going to let them cure. Finally getting there, eh? So it's looking pretty good. Quite happy with how it's all turning out. So nice and clean and fresh and all that jazz. Alright, well, we'll leave that there, and we'll get on to getting the harness in, or the hoses, one of those two. Alrighty, okay, so we're going to get the hoses on. Well, most of the hoses anyway, just to get things all covered up and finished off, sort of thing, tidied up, buttoned up. Alright, let's crack on. So yeah, I've got all the hoses there. Bit of silicone to make things a bit easier for me. Alrighty, so she's a bit dark now. Alright, but we have all the hoses in place. There's only hoses that go to the airbox and stuff. Like I've got one of them there, but there's other hoses that go up with the carbies and all that kind of stuff. Yep. So, and when I do go to paint the bottom of the engine, I'll just cover that up, all that stuff up, so it doesn't get paint on it. Alright, so I'm gonna have to finish this bit up here. So finally got that all in, got them all cleaned and looking good now. So in the daylight, we'll get the harness in. Alright, we're on to the next step. So we're going to get the harness put into the bike. Alright, and then after that, I'll probably get the front sprocket cover on, and the side stand as well. And then we'll probably wrap the video up, and yeah, so let's crack on and get into it. Right. Okay, so the harness is mostly in. Still got to put things in location, zip tie them up and stuff. Alrighty. Might get the. I'm not actually thinking about getting the sprocket cover on now that we've got all this done. Alright. So yeah, we'll get that sprocket cover on. We are getting somewhere, people. Okay, so that's the side stand. Still got to do the spring and other stuff, and as well as I wanted to paint the side stand safety switch just to make it look clean. But so yeah, we've got the front sprocket cover on now, and we've got the bracket for the throttle adjuster. Yeah, so pegs. Harness is mostly in place. I've still got to zip tie it into place. And obviously there's still going to be some kind of wiring I'm going to have to do. Yeah, so like the indicators, for an example, I've still got to make up wiring that goes up into them. But yeah, so we've got brackets. Oh, so much stuff on here now. Oh, it's been awesome. So in the next video, we'll get the exhaust on. Carburetors will be getting done because that kit finally arrived. Airbox, you know, all the little bits and pieces, and then I can start focusing more on the fairings. Alright, so I'm going to leave this here. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram page as well for the channel, so if you want to check out updates, or you can get updates and stuff like that from there, like pictures and all that jazz. Yeah, so what a mish. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Bye.